ओम महादेवी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात्.
Namaste. Today I am going to talk about the lineage pattern. The lineage pattern is a pattern which will get repeated over a period of many families. If you see the families together, put together, you will be able to notice the lineage pattern very clearly. Not many people are able to see the lineage pattern. The lineage pattern happens over a period of 20-30 years period of time. But if you step back and look into the lineage pattern, very beautifully you will be able to see a pattern which is getting formed. For example, my grandfather had 3 brothers. The last of the brother died first. The second brother died later. The third youngest brother died. My grandfather was the eldest man in the entire lineage. In fact, he died last. So, in the lineages where younger people die first, elder people will die last. That is why many of the lineages, elder people live a very long life because the younger people get killed first. Okay, now again I am telling you, my grandfather had 3 younger brothers. The last younger brother died first, the second younger brother died second, the third younger brother died last, which is next to him, he died last. The same pattern again got repeated even in his children's life. My mother was the last of the children. She died first and then her sister died first. Afterwards her elder sister died and finally there was a brother who had died. So the lineage pattern can be considered as a Arogan or Avarogan. Arogan means it will happen in the ascending order. Avarogan means it will happen in the descending order. Now there is also another lineage pattern I saw. There were 4 brothers. The first brother was successful to a level. The second brother was doubly successful. The third brother was more successful than the second brother. The last of the brothers was a super duper success. I am talking about Chandrasekhar, the the MD of Tata Group of Companies. He is the last of the guy and he is the most supremely successful in the entire family. There is another lineage pattern which I have seen in my father's side. All the sons' children have never done well and all the daughters' children have done exceedingly well. If you see, there were 5 boys and there were 4 girls. All the 4 girls' children had done exceedingly well and all the 5 boys' children have never even, many of them have never passed +2 or did not work for a very long period of time. This is also another pattern which is being seen. Now in the Brahminical houses you can see another pattern which is been happening is the time of marriage. Most people try to get married after 36, 38. Now it has even come to the extent of 40, 41, 42. Like that, each successive generation, if you see, they take a long period of time to get married. For example, earlier marriages were done between 20 to 22 for girls. Now slowly it became 22 to 25. Now the cycle has become 25 to 28. Now it is all understood that they will get married after 32. In the Brahminical family, if you see, it is more than 36. Now this is also another pattern. Another pattern I have seen is all the males will not have children. The female will have only 1 boy children. Now this is also another family pattern I have seen. There will be 2-3 brothers and 1 sister. One sister will have 1 son. The rest of them will not have babies. So this is also a baby pattern which is being seen. Another pattern I have seen as far as the family pattern is concerned, education. There was a lady, 9 brothers, that is 5 brothers and 4 sisters. All of them were double graduate. So I asked her, how is that possible? She told, my great grandfather built a school Now, if you see, all of them were double graduate as a person. Incidentally, she was the principal of a school. So, most important thing you have to understand is that all these patterns get repeated again and again in a people's life. There was a lady whose child was applying in Canada. So she asked me, I told, your child will be the last of the generation which will get shifted to America. You will not have anybody living in India. All your relatives and all your so-called kith and clan will be in America. She checked, she found her last sister had gone off to America. The second sister has gone off to Dubai. She was the only person who was living here, and incidentally, even this girl will go to Canada and settle down. So therefore, this is a common pattern I have seen in many of the Brahminical lineages, where many of the relatives and are all settled in America or in the European countries. So therefore, it is very important to see the lineage pattern. The negative of the lineage pattern is the suicide. Now, if you see the suicide, it happens in one family, that is one branch of the family, again and again the suicide happens. Now, this is a very, very interesting thing. Now, for example, there was a lady who was called Monal. She actually committed suicide. The person who was acting in the movie, his name was Kunal. Even the hero ultimately committed suicide across as a person. So therefore, now this suicide, non-marriage, not having a children, not educated. You can see in certain families, people will never get educated. They will all be 8th pass or 10th pass, and most of them would have started working very early in their life. Therefore, this is the lineage pattern. The lineage pattern is many planets will be associated with Rahu Ketu. There was a lady who had Venus Rahu. I asked him whether was there a suicide of a female in the house. He said yes, there was a female suicide. Now if you see the Rahu Ketu, Sun with Rahu means suicide in the father's side. Moon with Rahu Ketu means in mother's side. And also Mars with Rahu means land dispute. Venus with Rahu means suicide due to marriages. Guru with Rahu means the Guru would have had a very deep damage. Saturn with Rahu is basically connected with work. Therefore, if the Rahu Ketu is associated with many planets, lineage karma is very strong. And many planets in the 6, 8, 12 shows lineage karma which is very, very strong. Therefore, one needs to do the remedy. How long one needs to do the remedy? It is very, very simple. Now, you will see all the festivals are celebrated happily. That is the first indicator. The second one is that pattern will not get repeated. And the third one is your Janma Nakshatra. The Janma Nakshatra in which all your family members are having. That way they will have very good time. For example, myself, my wife and my daughter is there. All the 3 Janma Nakshatras will go well for months together without any problem. Which means the lineage pattern is being fully cleared. Now there will be husband and wife, 2 children will be there. All their 4 Janma Nakshatra will lot of good things will happen across as a person during the Janma Nakshatra. And they will celebrate festival. Whenever they meet, they will be very happily. Now there is a lineage pattern. Most of the negative lineages will meet during a bad time or stay together in a bad time. During the good time, they will be away from each other. Now when the good karma happens together, when you have cleansed the lineage karma, you will automatically start meeting people in good time, and whenever you meet, you will be very, very peaceful to them. And most important thing, the Indians found a very, very important thing. Your time and your mind is connected. Many people feel time and mind is not connected. Actually, it is not true. That is why it is called Viparita Kale Vinasa Buddhi. So your time and mind is directly connected. Your lineage karma, which is represented by the DNA, RNA, blood, is directly connected with your mind. So that's why they say in India, just like the mother, the daughter also behaves. If you see, many people faces become like their parents towards their end of the life. That is why they say, Thaya pola pulla, nula pola sela. So therefore your body template also becomes like your lineage, your mind also becomes like your lineage. You need to clear it to have a better life. Thank you so much for watching. Please do watch this video to, if you want very deep spiritual stuff, not something very superficial marketed in the name of spirituality, but very deep spiritual stuff. See it, share it. Thank you. Namaste. Today I am going to talk about the law of opposites in the lineage, which many people are not aware. There is a law of opposites which happen in the lineage. Now, if there are two brothers, one brother will do really well and one brother will not do well. If you see the famous movie of Amitabh Bachchan, Diwar, in which the elder brother Shashi Kapoor turns out to be a police officer, the younger brother turns out to be a mafia don. Now, this is a very, very beautiful story in which ultimately the elder brother will go on visiting the temple, and Amitabh Bachchan, being the younger brother, will never visit the temple. And when the mother becomes very sick, he goes to the temple and pray. So this is the law of opposites which you can see in people's life. If there is a brother and a sister, the brother will have all the good things happening in your life. He will be getting married, he'll be having a kid, he'll be going to work, he'll be making a lot of money, and there will be a lot of houses will be there. The other person will not be very successful. They will not be making money, they will have all kinds of illness, all kinds of health issues, and they will not be successful. This is the law of opposites which happens in many people's life, which they are not aware itself. Now, for example, I know one family, there is a brother and sister. The sister got married, she has a 2 male kid, whereas the brother is not married, his work is not secure, he is having a lot of issue. So this is called as the law of opposites. I know another family, the daughter is simply brilliant. She studied +2 in the tutorial, yet she got a lot of 95% of the marks she scored. But the brother life turned out to be opposite. He studied in a school +1 and +2, and he did not score so much of mark like the sister. So we can call it like the brain and the brawn. The sister looks average in her appearance, whereas the brother looks very handsome. In fact, the brother has a lot of girlfriends whom he has to call up, and they will keep coming to him towards as a person. This is also a law of opposites. I have also seen the law of opposites with my brother. My brother can easily beat Kumbhakarna in his sleep. I find it very difficult to sleep in the night itself. My brother can go sleep on and on. He can really sleep for 12 to 16 hours. I find even a peaceful sleeping for 4-5 hours is very difficult. But I am married and I have kids and I am very successful. Whereas my brother is in the law of opposites which I told you across. Therefore, you can see this law of opposites which has been happening in many families. You can also see the law of opposites happening in the elder and the younger people. The elder brother will not be very healthy. The younger brother will be healthy. As the younger brother finishes the 10th +2, the elder brother education will suffer. And as the elder brother goes to work, and the younger brother will find it very lot of struggle will be there. I know one family, one cousin of mine, there were 3 brothers. The last one started working in Hexaware. The eldest one had a problem. In fact, it came to the point where the younger one became very successful. The elder person literally stopped the job and he had a head injury across the person. So therefore, you can easily see this pattern getting repeated. And also another pattern is, one brother will be very close to the mother, another brother will be very close to the father. And whoever close to the mother will be successful, whoever close to the father will not be successful. Or it will be a reverse manner, where one who is very close to the father will be successful, or one who is close to the mother will not be successful. So therefore, this law of opposites, like the day and night, keeps on happening in the people's life. I know one lady whose son was not at all studying. In fact, she went and told her husband, you stop studying at the age of 45. It looks like you are sucking up all the lineage punya, whereas this man is not at all studying across. So once that man stopped only, then he started becoming successful in terms of education. Another lineage pattern I have seen, there is an actor Satyaraj, he is still working at the age of 70, whereas his son does not even have a job in the acting. Till the father is very, very successful in the work, the son cannot make money. This is also the lineage pattern which you see happening in many, many people's life. Actually, the father is too successful, but the son is so-so. It is like the Caesar's curse, you can see. Therefore, observe the lineage pattern, use it to clear using astrology. There is no point in talking about that astrology is very bad or something like that. All these family patterns can be seen and repeated. It will happen in spite of our best intention, thought, action. The lineage pattern works on the law of attraction, works on the law on the aura and the chakra, which is much, much beyond the control of the human will. So I request you to share this video on family karma and family pattern, which will be very, very helpful to you. Thank you. Namaste. Many people want to follow the Tantra Sadhana because it is very attractive, and also Tantra Sadhana prescribes about having relationship with many women, and it also talks about doing bizarre things like drinking, smoking, eating non-veg. All these things are attributed to Tantra Sadhana. So many people feel that the Tantra is suited to them because it helps them to cater to their what you call it as the carnal desires of life. First of all, you have to understand, you have to ask yourself the simple question, are you qualified for the Tantra? Now many people have the problem, they think they can choose the Tantra Sadhana. It's actually wrong. Tantra Sadhana chooses you. Or if you are going to have greatness or a great destiny, the Tantra Sadhana will choose you and come towards you. Sadhana is like marriage. Sadhana is like all the good things of life. You don't need to go in search of it. It will come in search of you. The second one is, whenever you are going to have a Tantra Sadhana, you are going to get connected to a very, very qualified teacher or teacher who was very well experienced in the path of Tantra. Many people try to follow the Tantra Marga without the teacher. You will have a lot of problem in your life. So please understand, you have to follow the Tantra Marga with the guidance of the teacher. If you do not have teacher, then it means you are not the chosen one for the Tantra. Now many people try to read books, especially Agori by Robert Subadov, and try to read the many textbooks, and they think they understand Tantra. Wrong. Tantra cannot be understood by reading books. It is a very, very practical sadhana, and it is also helps you with the opening of the death vortex. The black vortex is opened up, so the people experience this black vortex and they will be able to overcome this black vortex. Is the very quintessence of Tantra. So Tantra cannot be practiced part-time, Tantra cannot be practiced with a guru, and Tantra cannot be practiced by or without, what do you say, qualification or kind of initiation is required in the Tantra Marga. So many people try to follow the Tantra Marga without understanding all these things are required. Now many people don't have a guru, don't have a deep understanding of Tantra, especially they don't realize it's an opening of the dark vortex. For example, if your moon is afflicted, if you have Rahu Ketu with the many planets, please don't do Tantra Sadhana because you can go mad. Your emotional body has to be very, very strong to be able to take the impact of the lower astral, especially the Bhuta Preta Pisas. So the point is, if you are not able to deal with the lower astral, many people develop megalomaniac attitude, obsessive compulsive neurosis, and many people end up in the psychiatric asylum. So please understand that unless you have a guru, unless you are invited, please do not get into these kind of tantra sadhana which can create you a lot of problem. I humbly request you, Tantra means it's a technique. I understand it's a fast way to move to God. But then if you're going to go into a motor racing, if you are going to go into car racing, you would be required to have a good guru, good equipment, good practice. Generally you'll survive. If you are going to participate in a car race without a proper equipment, you will get smoldered to ashes. So therefore, this is the main aspect of Tantra. Once you understand this, it's very easy to understand whether you're qualified or you're not qualified. Tantra is not about sleeping with many women. All that thing is not possible. So please understand this and look into the other videos about Tantra, which you can really help yourself, because these are videos done by an experienced sadhak. It is not done by because I want to talk about Tantra sadhana and all that thing. Thank you so much. Now many people ask, what are the qualities required for the Tantra? In Tantra sadhana or any sadhana, the basic qualities which are required is that of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means considering the welfare of others, trying to give more and take less. This is a very, very important attitude in Tantra. Now many people do not understand this attitude. They think for power, they think for pleasure, they think for siddhi, Tantra can be followed. Wrong. If you are going to go ahead with all these things, you are going to have a lot of problem, because as the black vortex opens up, you will not be able to handle. Sometimes many people get destroyed in Tantra sadhana because they do not have the qualities of bodhicitta. They try to use the power of the spirits, they try to use the power of the lower astral, and end up being the, what you call it, as the slave of the lower astral. So it's very, very important to understand that Tantra can be practiced only with the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means for the welfare of others, for the welfare of humanity, for the welfare of Kula, Gotra, Varna. Many people try to follow Tantra because it is suited in their family. Now this is a very, very difficult proposition to take. Now for example, you take death vortex. If you are going to employ death vortex on individual, you will have a huge bad karma coming to you and you will end up dying very, very early, or you will have a lot of disease in your life. Now death vortex can be employed, or death marana karma can be employed like that of Moses. Now Moses opened up the death vortex on Pharaoh because he wanted the Jews to be released from the Pharaoh's shackles. So therefore the important quality which is required is, for the welfare of others you can employ the tantric sadhana. For example, it's like a police. The police is given the license to kill, but they take time to find out whether somebody is that kind of a person. The military also knows whether that kind of a person can be killed. They assess the enemy and they ask themselves whether these things can be done across. Therefore, employing Marana, Uchadana, Vidveshana without a proper qualification will, or without an understanding, will lead to huge amount of bad karma. You will go down in the ladder of evolution. The second, for example, you take Vidveshana. Vidveshana means creating hatred among people. Suppose you have hatred towards wealth, hatred towards possessing other people, hatred towards what you call it as bad luck. All these things would be very, very helpful to you. For example, Vashya Mogana is towards the Bodhisattva, towards the higher beings. These things can be very, very helpful to you. So please understand, the first thing is the bodhicitta. The second one is the attitude to heal and help people. You will be like the policeman, you will be like the lawyer, you will be like the Supreme Court judges who can change the other people's destiny and fate. So do not try to employ Tantra for small means, small ends, and also for personal selfishness. You will have a huge amount of bad karma which is being coming to you. So before you employ the tantric mantras or any kind of technique, you should ask yourself whether these techniques are required, and second thing is, will it help people? Now, for example, many people do Baglamukhi mantra. Without understanding, you can employ the Baglamukhi mantra in a mass level for coronavirus, for stopping a lot of gossip which is being going on. So the application of Tantra can be used properly. It's like using poison for medicine. You should know how to use poison instead of trying to find out about how to use it for personal gain. If you are not employing Bodhicitta, if you are not using it for personal gain, then Tantra is a very, very sweet path. But if you are going to use Tantra for your personal end, you can have a lot of problem with your bad karma. So therefore, please understand, Tantra sadhana requires Bodhicitta. You have to ask yourself the question whether it will benefit a huge amount of people or it's going to benefit only you as a person. If it's going to be a benefit a huge amount of people, then use the mantra, then you will find it a lot of results. Thank you. Now many people think Tantra means being promiscuous. Tantra means having an affair with multiple women. And Tantra means because you have an affair with multiple women, you have understood Tantra. Wrong. Tantra means it's about the sexual sublimation of energy. Normally, the male like to ejaculate a lot. Now, in Tantra sadhana teaches you to hold the ejaculation and sublimate the energy into the head. Now, this will help you to open the Medha Nadi. The sperm will help you to have what you call the rejuvenation of the brain. These things are used for Tantra sadhana. Now many people without this understanding try to run behind many women and end up having a lot of problem in life. The opening of the energy of the women is very, very difficult. Now if you get married and if you fall in love, the energy is open. Now the post-opening level, where she opens the soul, where she opens the heart, it all depends on the behavior. Now you have to treat women with lot of respect in Tantra. You have to treat them with lot of love and affection. You should not try to put them down and you should not try to use and throw. If these attitudes are used in Tantra, invariably women will become your what you call the negative point in your Tantra. So if you get married to one person, it's okay, provided you do the sexual sublimation exercise, what we call it as Pariyanga Yoga, it is being given across. Now once you are able to do that Pariyanga Yoga, you will be able to, just one woman is enough itself for you to overcome a lot of obstacles in your sadhana. Now many people, without the understanding, they think they have to go behind a lot of married women, this women, that women. This is all not at all needed. The technique is sexual sublimation. This is being taught by Mantak Chia. A lot of people in the West talks about the sexual sublimation of energy. They have opened up the energy. The second one is the Kama Sutra talks about 64 different kinds of posture and all that thing. Basically, it does not really matter. All that matters is if you master one or two postures, it is more than enough. There is no need to go through all the esoteric posture. All you need to do is to learn the sublimation of energy. Sublimation of energy, one or two postures, and with a partner, it is very, very helpful. Tantra though talks about women using the sexual energy, but it is more like the badminton player or it is more like the tennis player. You have to get used to the player. The player has to get used to each other. Then the performance will become better and better. All you need to do is to explain to your women and open up their energy. instead of trying to what you call it as switch over partners. Because basically switching over partner means it is changing the doubles combination. You will not be able to grow a lot in using the Tantra sadhana. Therefore, you require a very good relationship with women for more than 3-4 years to open up the energy and go into another level. This is very important thing you have to understand. Opening the energy of a woman means giving her respect and really treating her like a goddess. And also during the sexual encounter, it is very important that you offer your happiness, sweetness for the women rather than trying to ejaculate. Now, if you understand this principle, that during the sexual encounter, you should not try to take pleasure from women, but give pleasure to women, make them happy and treat them like a goddess, then it will be very easy to practice the Tantra sadhana with women. Otherwise, you are going to find it very difficult, because simply changing the partner, not knowing about sexual sublimation is not going to work. The minimum stroke required for a man is more than 100 to 200 stroke. Normally ejaculation happens for many men and women even by 10 stroke, because the energy is so intense, the rush of energy is so intense, it will be very difficult for people to hold the energy. So please understand the concept of Tantra and try to practice it correctly. You will be able to use women in the higher dimensions of the sadhana. Thank you. Now the other aspect of the Tantra sadhana is using the Shav sadhana. Remember, many sadhus cannot practice Shav sadhana because they don't get a corpse and they don't get a freshly death corpse, because they are not destined to understand the Shav sadhana. Shav sadhana is nothing but when a person dies, the astral world opens up. That vortex is used by all these sadhus to go into the astral world and also gain few siddhis in their life. Now this is a main use of Shav sadhana. Tantra scriptures talks about murdering people, offering them as a bali before you use the Shav sadhana. But those are very gruesome exercises which will lead you to a lot of bad karma. So these days sadhus, what they do is they take a corpse and which is like died a few months back also, they dug out from the grave and then they try to offer it. Now this does not help. Remember, the most important of the Shav sadhana is the Mrityu Siddhi, knowing the arrival of death, knowing when a person will die, how they deal with the bardo. All these things are very important. Now this is the main aspect of the Shav sadhana. We have explained to people in a class how to use the Mrityu Siddhi, how people will die. This knowledge is not available on the outside. Now this knowledge can be easily accessed from a workshop and also the book on the Mrityu Siddhi. So therefore it is very important that Shav sadhana is a huge qualification which cannot be practiced by many people. Many people talk about Ashtama Siddhi opening because you are practicing Shav sadhana. In our experience, in our knowledge and understanding, these things does not happen. Actually the chakras opened up, you become little psychic, you get access in the other world, but I have seen many people, they have not what you call it as come into Shav sadhana, Purna Siddhi. So therefore, Ashtama Siddhi does not open up in Shav sadhana all the time. It opens up for few people. Now in the famous fantasy book of Robert Subhada Vagori, his guru talks about how he gained Ashtama Siddhi using a young girl and doing the Shav sadhana on that particular girl in a very supposed to be some auspicious time. So therefore it is very important to understand Shav sadhana is conquering death and Mrityu Siddhi will come into it. That's why many Buddhists, many texts talks about doing the prayer in the samshan and sitting in the samshan and doing, because to become aware of death. Once you are aware of death, there is a lot of detachment towards life. You will not be interested in what you call the day-to-day mundane involvement, like becoming big or becoming famous or becoming rich. All these things will be killed with the awareness of death. You will realize you have a healthy body, healthy mind. It's time to use the sadhana about it. So Shav Sadhan, you have to understand it is about Mrityu Siddhi. The first stage of Shav Sadhan is going and sitting and practicing in the samshan, seeing the dead body burn. The second stage is using a corpse to chant the mantra of your devata. And the other most important thing is people talk about kilakas and the spirit attacking them. These are very, very, what you call it as very different level. But I request, unless and until you are very sure, please don't go to Shav Sadhan, because these are what you call the mastery. It's like learning French cuisine, or maybe it's like playing in the concerto in one go. These are for very big players. The normal players will not be able to do it. Thank you. Now many people think Tantra Sadhana is about all bizarre things doing. No. Tantra Sadhana is awakening the Kula Kundalini and also working on the different chakras in your life. That is all. In the famous Kaula Nirnaya, written by the great Matsyendranath, who is the, what you call, the founder of the Kanipat Yoga, who is the founder of the Nath Sampradaya, he talks about chakras having 8 petals, and he talks about 8 chakras. So there is totally 64, which is connected with the 8 direction and the Ashtamatrikas. Therefore, please understand, Tantra Sadhana is about visualizing the chakra and opening up the chakra. Each chakra has a bandha, which means there is a knot, and these bandhas are released with the persistent practice, which will help you to open up the chakras and access the energy in an easy manner. Tantra Sadhana also means opening the Antakarna and drawing the energy into the different chakras. This is actually, in Qigong they call it as bringing the divine energy into the earth and absorbing the earth energy into the divine. It is what you call the cross-pollination of the yin and the yang. Now many people think the Antakarna can be opened up easily. Wrong. Antakarna opens up. It's like a knot. The energy will open up if you do punya, if you do dhana, if you do variety of things, a bout of energy will come. This is for a protection of people. The Antakarna lock is opened up by the avatar because they can download n amount of energy without any inhibition. That is why they are able to perform all kinds of miracles. The Ashtama Siddhi is the 7 chakras, the 8th chakra is the Antakarna chakra. So therefore, 8 chakras are used by the Nath Sampradaya because of this. The other most important thing is the lower chakra has another more chakra, which is the 9th and the 10th chakra, but those are all the earth related chakras as a person. So therefore, please understand, Tantra Sadhana is directly connected with the Chakra Sadhana, and also it is connected with the Kula Kundalini, and it is like the circulation of breath. Now these practices can be done even without drinking, even without smoking, or even without having any kind of ganja or narcotic substances. So the core of the Tantra Sadhana written in the Kaula Nirnaya by the great Nath Sampradaya, Yogi Matsyendranath, he talks about the Yogini chakra and the 8 chakras connected with the Yogini in the physical body. So what is above is the below. So therefore, in the Tantra Sadhana, the main stress is given on the Chakra Sadhana visualization, which will help you to cross the lot of barriers, the human barriers, which can help you to become a better person who can have bodhicitta and help a lot of people. Therefore, Tantra Sadhana is directly connected with the Chakra Sadhana. So don't get lost with the Tantra Sadhana, imagining a lot of things. Even the Shav Sadhana or sexual sublimation, it talks about the mastery of the chakra rather than anything else. Thank you. In Tantra, a lot of people use narcotic substance like ganja, bhang is being used, and some people go to the extent of using morphine and cocaine and a variety of things. First of all, now these things are used to open up your energy body. See, normally people are identified with the physical body, so the narcotic substance is taken so that you can travel in the energy body faster, happier, easier. That is the first use of narcotic substances. Like you take alcohol, you are not worried about your image, you are not worried about your qualification, you are just you. So the second use of this is, this leads to a lot of karmic churning. Therefore, a person should be able to face the karmic churning in his life. Now, without this understanding, if you take the narcotic substance, you will go into nasha. Nasha means you feel very tipsy, drowsy, without trying to control it. Tantra talks about using the will to control the nasha and try to use that, what you call it as altered state of consciousness, to go into the astral world. So therefore the first usage of the narcotic substance is to relax your personality, is to identify more with the subtle world and travel into the subtle world faster. For example, the traveling in the subtle world is done by the ascetics by inducing a lot of pain. They leave the body, which can be used for astral travel. Each of these aborigines have a different methodology, but using the narcotic substance like ganja, abin will be able to help you to relax the personality. But it has its own side effects because it can lead to the what you call depression, suicidal tendency, and also obsessive compulsive neurosis and shutting down of the heart chakra, where you become very selfish and addicted to drugs. You need to be very careful about this. Many people drink a lot and they spoil the liver and they die across. So you have to take ayurvedic treatment to overcome all these things across. Otherwise you are going to have a lot of problem and issues with regard to your health. But it's very important to use the narcotic substances in stage by stage rather than trying to use it in one go. Also, when you take narcotic substances, you cannot go back to the physical world. You cannot be a corporate person and then try to practice tantra. It is like cutting the cords and directly involving the sadhana, and hell or high water, you have to face the sadhana. So become very careful in using the narcotic substances, whether you will be able to take. Normally the tantric people take two things. One is the rum. They don't try to take whiskey, brandy, gin or anything like that. The second thing is they also talk about having ganja. The other kind of narcotic substance are not encouraged. For example, in the West they talk about the physical artificially made opioids, artificially made narcotic substances. Tantra does not talk about it, because sometimes these narcotic substances can lead you to real lower astral world and you will find a lot of bizarre things happening. Also, when you take narcotic substances, opening the chakras, tearing the chakra wall and the defense can become very easy. But you need to become very clear whether you are going to get intensely involved in this kind of sadhana. And also they take a lot of heavy meat because it helps them to ground the energy a lot. For example, a pork meat or for example a buffalo meat, they take it across because it kind of acts opposite to the ganja and the nasha what they are having, because it helps them to ground the energy. So without understanding this, do not try to take the what you call narcotic substances, because it can lead you to addiction, depression, psychiatric problem. And many of these so-called sadhus find it very difficult even in their deathbed to give up the narcotic substances. I know one person who was like he told he could leave the narcotic substance and all. It turned out to be a big failure, where he is a chronic addict and he finds it very difficult. He tries to follow the 13 steps principle and all that. Please understand, you can the lower astral can really tempt you, possess you without you understanding these kind of sadhana. Therefore, it's very important that you are very careful, you train yourself slowly in the narcotic substances. Keep watching the video, because these are experience videos rather than that of theory, which will really help you a lot. Thank you.